What harmful things are being taught to children? Teaching kids not to question things just because someone is older, or allegedly wiser, is one of the most frustrating things that I see on a daily basis. How is a child supposed to ever develop any individual and nuanced ideas if they can't think for themselves? Ignore bullies and they'll leave you alone. When you do that, one of two things are likely to happen. Either they'll mess with you more, or they'll move to someone else and bully them. If you stand up to bullies, they back down. The earlier in life you put these people in their place, the less likely they'll develop their bad behavior as a lifelong practice. Being wrong is bad. That's why many people don't change their mind when they were given trustable sources. They don't want to be wrong. No is a bad word. It's a strong word but not a bad one. Nobody cares about children's, teens' issues. Well, it's only going to get worse from here. You think school is hard? Have you ever paid a freaking bill? You're just a kid, you can't feel this way. It breeds an emotional disconnect from parents and their kids, and makes kids feel alone in their emotional struggles. That nobody cares because they're not adults and they don't have adult problems. Being discouraged to speak up about illnesses because it makes them weird, something's wrong with them. They talk about like, you need therapy. Which isn't a bad concept and you probably do need it. But they picture it in such a bad light. Children do learn about sex at a young age. It just isn't usually in a productive way. I know I did. My own experience. Questions like this are why I believe in being infinitely clear with my kids. You are going to hear total crap from other kids. If you hear something you don't understand, come talk to me. You can ask me anything and expect a decent answer. And I would give examples of the total crap I had heard as a kid. Most of which would result in pregnancy. Son, age 6. Daughter, age 7. Riding home from school. Daughter says Tiffany said she had sex with my brother. Which left me a grand total of 3 minutes to gather my wits before we got home. Okay. Do you guys know what sex is? Blank looks. Sex is when you take off all of your clothes and rub privates together. You can make babies that way. Looks of shock and disgust. Do you think your brother had sex with Tiffany? No. I think she was using a really bad way of trying to say she likes him. And maybe she watches the wrong TV shows where if people like each other they always have sex. Were my kids really ready for a sex talk? No. Not really. They didn't care. Did we really need to have one about then? Yep. My job as a parent is to be there to put things that come up in context for them. Not run around after them deciding what and when they need to know things. Basically all those shit social media influencers that teach young people that it's all about money and brand names. Probably not harmful. But in kindergarten we were prohibited from playing soccer because it was too dangerous. We were kindergarteners. We probably would stand there and kick the ball. Not go full on FIFA or shit. Kids are starting social media so early these days. And I think that's very dangerous because it puts a lot of pressure on the kid to attribute their worth to their social media success. I also think parents are way too open with their social media when it comes to their kids. And it's totally a violation of the child's privacy. Of which some parents will never admit. If he's mean to you he likes you, it just teaches little girls, mostly girls, to expect violence from people who love them. Teaching them that it's not okay to fail. Some people need a little more time than others. It's okay to not get something now. Kids should be given more time to process things. Imagine having a poor grade because of a low score from the beginning of the year. How can we show children that it's not pass or fail? It's try and improve? There was this one time my sister's Spanish teacher told her off for using vocabulary outside the sheet she'd been given for homework. Their task was to write a short essay introducing themselves in Spanish and use some simple adjectives. She asked me for help, and since I'm quite a bit older than her and know a decent amount of Spanish, I have her a few interesting adjectives and verbs to use instead of dumb stuff like nice, and kind, or whatever. She comes back after school close to tears and tells me she got scolded for using vocab that wasn't on the sheet. SMH teachers are supposed to encourage learning, not hinder it, right? To repress their emotions. It will only cause them to bottle them up and accumulate them to the point of exploding in an instant. I think what we're not taught is more harmful. For example, the fact that we never learn, at least in my country, how to fact-check things. That failure is bad. Failing should not be considered as an obstacle but a step in the learning process. Demonizing the failure and stigma associated with it makes many children lose their interest once they fail. No backtalk. Many adults use it as, "You're not allowed to challenge what I have to say." Makes sense if it's a cranky toddler being negative for negativity's sake. But suddenly older children can't question things or raise valid points of their own. That complaining is the same as not being grateful. Can't count the number of times growing up when adults basically told me to shut up whenever I was complaining about something and that I should be grateful that I was born where I was. Like, sure, I'm glad I wasn't born into some starving African family. But that doesn't mean everything is perfect over here and that we shouldn't try to improve things here as well. You do not have to play with everyone. There is a total lack of social accountability. If Laura is always cheating at tag, it's okay to not let her play. If little Billy throws sand in the sandbox, little Timmy does not have to play with him. Laura and Billy need to learn how to play appropriately. You show me respect first because I'm an adult and have authority, then I choose whether I should show you respect no other way. That they shouldn't question an adult. Making children hug or kiss someone, usually a relative, that they are uncomfortable with is not good. The child may just be grumpy and/or not wanting to show affection, or their warning bell sensors could be going off and they do not know how to communicate that. Plus, forcing them to hug, kiss sends mixed messages about personal, physical boundaries and affection itself. Happened to my son in middle school. A kid sucker punched my son. My son then fought back and pinned the kid against the wall, he has long arms, and punched him a few times. The school called me and my wife and told us our son was suspended. We went to the school and they said even though multiple witnesses as well as the kid said he threw the first punch, that the school had a zero-tolerance policy, so our son would be suspended. We asked what the school believed our son should have done and they said he should just walk away. We told them that he would not be receiving any punishment at home and that the policy was fricked up. How to internalize stress and implode as teens and adults. She's younger than you. Just let it go. Can't you be more compassionate? You're the older one here in this situation, she's a little child. She doesn't know any better. Absolutely hate this information that was drilled into me since I was a kid. In a nasty divorce. The parents may only talk about each other's bad qualities and the kids may have issues with their parents. Political views. At ages that children are really too young to understand them. They just spout off their parents' thoughts. If you have a different opinion than someone, you hate them and that's wrong. The lie that life is fair and things happen for benevolent, valid reasons. Then we let them get burned and figure it out themselves. Not owning up to their mistakes or blaming them on others. Doing the right thing will sometimes make others hate you. Be prepared for that.